Memories at the Ozark Folk Center. You could learn a lot.
Welcome back with the Valley Spotlight. I'm here with Veronica Lanier. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So you graduated in 2009, so we're just going to kind of get the feel of what it was like when you were in the band.
Okay.
So to start off, tell us kind of about your background. What school did you graduate from?
I graduated from Cabot High School. The band program when I was there was a little under 200, but now it's kind of surpassed that number a bit. It's grown quite a bit.
So was the band different in high school than it was in college? What was the stress level like?
Well, the stress level in college is a lot higher, just because, as I noticed in the previous interviews with the current tech band members, it's a student-led band. We just have the one band director, so a lot of responsibility is bestowed upon the student leaders within the band, as opposed to high school. You have your 3-4 assistant band directors to help with the everyday workings of marching band and whatnot.
Yep. So what drove you to join the Tech Band of Distinction? What pushed you to be in the band?
Well, I've been attending the Tech Band camps ever since I joined beginning band in the 7th grade, and so it just became a natural progression. Once I decided on attending Arkansas Tech University, I knew, being a part of the Tech Band of Distinction was just an obvious choice for me. And that also helped because I was going to be a double major. Music was going to be one of my majors, and so just natural to be in the tech band.
So what kept you in it? What drove you to stay in the band throughout your years in college?
You hear these things about the Tech Band of Distinction. You see them when you're in high school, and you're just in awe immediately. But
Definitely.
Once you actually step foot in the tech band, and you're in those first few days of rehearsals, the full band inside, and you hear the music that you perform, I mean, you're just caught. Right then, you're stuck. You got the bug, and you're just kind of stuck in there. And so, it's an amazing group of people, musicians, and Hal Cooper is one of the greatest musicians I know. So it's just the entire experience as a whole that kept my love for being in the tech band and just wanting to do it day in and day out. The pride, really.
Yeah. So we heard from the interviews that it can be really, really challenging to balance your schedule between school and your actual band stuff. So how did you work that out in your daily schedule, your daily routines?
Well, in the beginning, I'm going to say I put a little bit more effort into the band than I did, say, my studies and whatnot. But like I said, I was a double major, so most of my classes consisted of music classes. So it was really easy because the music professors are very understanding. I mean, they know you're in band. They know you have a tough schedule as it is. So they try to, if they know you have something coming up, they try, to be a little lax on what they expect from you in response to homework and tests and stuff. They really work with you. So that made it very, very easy.
What about, so you were in sororities, correct?
Correct.
Right, sorority. How did that change your work schedule, or like your time with the band and with the sorority and also classes?
Well, actually, when I first joined, when I first went through recruitment, it wasn't that time consuming because I hadn't yet took on the leadership that I had within the band. So I was able to balance both of them for the most part. There were some, like in the fall, we have recruitment. Recruitment's a very busy time for any sorority. So there were some times where I had to, sacrifice doing things with my sorority just because I had prior obligations to the band, and that kind of came first. Band was what I was here for. It was my major. It is my responsibility.
So you're a drum major, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What kind? It's a higher level of authority, drum major. You have some control over the band, sort of. So, what did that raise the level of work you had to do as well? Because you have to,
Right.
you're a drum major. So.
Most definitely. The level of responsibility just flew, and the time commitment actually was greater. I showed up, at least an hour early. I had to make sure that everything was prepared for band rehearsal that day. Equipment, water, little marching markers, music was printed off, drill sheets were printed off. It's like we have the one band director, so I made sure to ask him what needed to be done before rehearsal that day. So I'd get there early, we'd stay there late. It's more time consuming, and then of course, like I said, the level of responsibility. There is more responsibility there because essentially the student leaders, the captains and the section leaders and the drum majors, we assume the responsibility of assistant band directors. So there's a little bit of stress there that goes along with it.
So I'm sure, because you speak of responsibility a lot, you learn a few lessons while in band. Like, did you learn is there any personal lessons that you learned to help you like through your future careers or anything?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many valuable experiences I gained that I couldn't have gained had I not been in the tech band, let alone a drum major within the tech band. Just the leadership experience alone and the opportunities that it opened for me, you know, are second to none, and I couldn't get them anywhere else. So, you know, it taught me to be a better leader, taught me to be a better team player, because you have different types of people within the band, and you have to learn to really get along with everybody if you're going to make it work as a whole. So, I mean, it taught me valuable lessons in response to dealing with people and working under pressure and dealing with stress and crunching on time and everything that you could think of.
So, while you're in the band, you talk about how it's a really great band and it's very talented.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like working with so many talented people and and a great director? What was it like working in a group of people like that?
Oh, it was amazing. I tell you, that was the best part for me of being drum major, is just feeling like I was a part of that. And I mean, you couldn't get a different experience than to stand up in front of a group of some amazing musicians, talented group, you know, and just hearing the music that they play. I mean, they're playing for you. You're helping them play, and it's an experience I cannot describe. You know, it's just amazing, because what Hal Cooper does with that band is indescribable. You know, he gets these players from all walks of life, you know, around the state, even the country, you know, and he gets us all together and he makes us make beautiful music.
Yeah, it sounds great. So, what about, were there any like really good experiences you had within the band? Like any memorable moments that just stick in your mind?
Well, always the the last game of every season, or the last full performance that we have, because pretty much right after homecoming we kind of split our show. So the last time we perform our show as a whole is always memorable for me, because I know, you know, I get sentimental and I'm thinking that's the last time I'm going to be able to perform the show. I can't ever get it back, so this is it. You know, this is what we've been working all season for. So that's always very, very memorable to me. I also love doing the exhibitions at the marching contests. My favorite one has been in 2005, whenever we went to the Camden Fairview Washita Valley Invitational. We had an amazing show that year, and the crowd was highly responsive. I mean, they were up on their feet, and that makes you feel great inside. It makes you feel like, you know, you're actually accomplishing something, because you are playing for this crowd and they love you, and you got the job done. So, I mean, that's always a memorable experience.
And we know from hearing from you and the others in the interview that there are times when it's really just stressful trying to balance everything, but in the end you think it's all worth it?
Oh, definitely. You know, I tell people I've spent numerous years in the band, and it was stressful at times, but when you look back on it, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade my experiences for the world, or the memories that I made. So it's opened a lot of doors, and I've met some wonderful people through it, you know, networking, and I still try to stay involved with the band camp and working with various schools around the state. I just, you know, it's always going to have a special place in my heart.
You give me drum major
right.
lessons.
That's how we know each other.
So now you haven't been out of school very long. You still have connections with the band here? What kind of connections do you still have with them? What do you do for them?
I help out at band camp every summer. But other than that, dealing with the tech band itself, I don't really do much. Honestly, it's a bit hard because I do miss it so much, and so it was tough. I hadn't been back to a game since I graduated, but then I went back to the Henderson game. You know, it's a big battle of the bands game, and I went back, you know, and I got teary-eyed. So I do miss it, and I love it. But no, actually working with the tech band one-on-one, no, I don't do that anymore.
But it has opened doors for other things. You said, what about people? You said you met different people and networked. What kind of people have you met that you're just so glad band has pushed you to meet those people?
I met, you know, various band directors around the state, and they are great people. There's some amazing people. Also, being in band, not just the tech band, but just being band in general, you know, it kind of broadens your horizon about other musical aspects, such as drum corps, and that's become a passion of mine, which I work with them, and they're like based out of Indiana, so, you know, I've kind of, it's opened up, you know, so many things, just music.
Well, thank you, Veronica. We've learned a lot from your experiences.
Thank you for having me.
Coming back up on Valley Spotlight, we'll have Spree with Julie Morgan, so stay tuned.